made a mistake a couple of days ago after a session. I went with my partner to a cab session, and during this session I started to see all kinds of visions about a new life where I was together with another woman, where we have children, where I was introducing her to my parents, yeah, like all kinds of things, right? I talk about it in another video. So then I also started to see images of my partner being in a wheelchair. I started to see images of her leaving, but that was from the previous session, but also images about her, like I saw like a coffin and somebody being buried, and then I saw like the apartment where whenever somebody dies, you have to go there and you have to let's say registrate that somebody has died, right? And so then I saw a new contract that I was now married to a new person. So like I saw these kind of things, and there was a kind of very strange feeling about it. And after the session, my partner, while we were going home, she told me, "You came up in my session. I had something about you, but I'm not going to tell you why." And I was like, "Really? Interesting, because I also had something about you." It was about, and then I was like, "Don't worry about it. I saw things, but you're gonna live. And then, like, because I didn't really see her die or dead, I just saw a coffin, and yeah, and then she got worried. She got worried because she's been having some sleep issues and some issues with that. And as the days were like going on, she would ask me about it. "Just tell me, what did you see? What did you see? You said A, now you have to say B. You said A, now you have to say B." I was like, I don't want to like tell her what I saw because it won't change anything, right? So she asked her friend, who's like all into runes and stuff, like should he tell me or not? And then I asked her also, and she said, ask her soul whether or not she wants to know. And then I just felt in my heart, and I felt like, you know what, what the message that I could receive from my heart is, just pray to God, pray to your guardian angel, just pray. Because whether I tell you this or that, it won't change anything, because you have a fear now, and it will either worsen your fear or dissipate your fear. But it doesn't matter, because what's meant to happen is gonna happen, right? It's like you're nothing with it. And so the days went on, and she was like getting very irritated about it. And then at a certain point, she's like, you know what? I also saw stuff about you. First of all, I saw that our relationship is really bad, and I cannot have a relationship with you. So I feel that. It's like, okay. And then she was like, you know what? You're gonna die. You're gonna die of brain troubles. And I was like looking at her, and something in me felt so hurt by that. Like really, at that moment, I felt like I'd given so much of myself to this person. I'd like continually like done everything that I could do to the best of my abilities, which was sometimes here, sometimes here, sometimes here, sometimes here. And then she told something like that, and I was like, you really hurt me by saying that. Like, I want you to apologize. So then she apologized, but she was still angry. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. So then I told her, you know what? I saw you being in a wheelchair. I saw somebody being buried. I saw somebody die. I saw like the office where you have to register that somebody died. I saw how there was a new certificate of me being married to a new person. I saw like having a baby with another woman in a hospital. Like I saw all kinds of images. And she was like, oh really? So that's what your subconscious is thinking. So what I learned from this experience is keep your process to yourself. Keep it personal, and I would say never share it, because when you share it with other people, you can make them just more confused, or it won't add to your process. For instance, there was another instance where something else had happened. So I was doing an inner dance session, and during an inner dance session, like, because my energy is very activated, I was moving a lot. It was dancing happening, there was a lot of noise happening, and to somebody who's not into that kind of stuff, it may look very, very odd, very strange. And so she videotaped it. She sent it to her friend, to her mother, and she said, "Look what he's doing. This is so strange. This is so, like, something here is not." And so there's now that. So, like, I understand for myself, we have very different interests now, and we think about the things that we do very differently. Like, one is not better than the other, it's just one is more open-minded and one is more judgmental about it, because one has more use or benefit in it, and the other one doesn't see any benefit or use to it because the person has other desires. But this really has taught me that whatever you see in your visions, whatever happened, like, the inner child in me, like, over enthusiastically almost wants to overshare it, to, like, but then I realized, like, some things, like, especially these kind of things, like, if it happens again, I'm probably just gonna keep it to myself, because for people it's just confusing, and it will just either give them a fear reaction or another reaction. Like, but in this instance, like, this was a learning opportunity for me. Like, keep the process to yourself. But because it was building up in me, also, like, whoa, like, when I saw, like, all those images, my mind started to make a story about it. She's gonna die, then that means we don't have a lot of time left anymore. So there was this feeling of nostalgia, of sadness, of, like, I want to cherish every moment. So it's like, I was dealing with that, processing that. But then she said something very interesting. She said, well, maybe it was metaphorically, it wasn't real, it wasn't like real physical death, but metaphorical. So yeah, learn from my mistakes.